Now you've made your first program, I want to show you how to make your program do a little bit more. And in the process, I want to take you through all these tabs and these different areas for blocks for your script. So we've got this stack of instructions that the program just reads down and executes everything we've told it to do. These are all, most of these are from the motion category here. Let's, the next tab says looks, and to understand a little bit more about what the looks is about, one thing, let's look at this next tab here. It says costumes, and if you look, there are actually two costumes for this sprite. So if we go into our look script, we could actually have our sprite switch costumes someplace in here. So I'm just going to double click on that over here, and now you can see how the sprite changes to that one. We set it to costume 1, and double click, it goes back to that. Now, if we want it to always get back to where it started, we should switch back to costume 1 somewhere else in this program. The problem is, I think that it's going to happen so quick that you'll hardly see it. Let's just see. See, I didn't even see that change. So instead, well, I'll show you when we go over here to the control tab. Let's do that next. In the last video we looked at the events tab. We'll use more of these as you get further along in your programming. Especially, I find this broadcasting messages and receiving messages can be really helpful when you have more than one sprite interacting, but that's for another time. If we look at the control video, the control tab, we have these repeat and this other block that's shaped like this, forever. This one says if, and it has a little diamond hole, then, and this diamond shaped hole is going to fit an operator, an equals or less than or greater than, and you could put a not in there also, but we put those in, and then we can have our program do something under certain circumstances. We'll get to that later. Right now, let's just drop in a repeat of it. We have it move 10 steps, change y by 10. So we've got to drop this part inside, and you have to take off. You have to drag away the extra steps at the bottom that we don't want it to do yet. We're going to have it move 10 steps, change y by 10, switch to costume 2, and then it's going to repeat that 10 times. But wait, we need to switch back to costume 1 in there. So we'll have it move another 10 steps. We'll have it change y by -10 so it doesn't get too far out of line. And then switch to costume 1. Now I don't think it's going to go off the edge when we do this. All these other extra directions we can drag off the screen. Maybe so we've got a little bit more room. We'll start with our sprite way over here. So at the beginning we'll have it go to negative. Well, let's see where it is. The motion tab right now, it says -187, so we'll have it start at -187. And now we should be able to see it switching between costumes as it moves. Whoop. that was still too fast. So again, in the control tab, we have this little wait command. And after it switches costumes, we'll ask it to just wait a fraction of a second, not even a whole second. We'll say 0.25, a quarter of a second. And then we'll do that again after every 10 steps. It's going to wait. Now you should be able to see it moving across the screen. We'll try it one more time. Now, going back to the Looks tab, we've got it switching from costume 1 to costume 2. Before it says hello, let's have it switch to another costume. We've only got 2, but we can make another one. We can take this one. Let's take this one, and we're going to make a copy of this. So you can use the duplicate tool, click on your sprite, now you've got another one, and we're going to edit this. So you can come over here, we've highlighted the one we want to edit, come over here and do something, let's do something simple and quick. I'm going to make an imitation of its eyes. That line is too thick, so I can adjust the thickness of the line down here. And I can rotate it so it's sort of at the same angle as those eyes. I just made them bigger. And I'll use the pencil tool to put in a dot for a pupil. That's too small. So again, I can adjust the size on my pencil tool. It wasn't. I think if I click on this to select it, I should be able to adjust the size down here. Now, all of these drawing tools are different from the ones you're going to find in Scratch 1.4. They only have this kind of tool. These are the bitmap tools. You see how he's got jagged edges? Well, we have that option if we click this and convert it to bitmap. But we don't really want to do that if we can avoid it. There's one more thing. This oval needs to have a white filling, not a transparent background. So I'm going to click on that. Now, I just want to make a duplicate of it. And there are some shortcuts for what I'm doing right now. Yep, I don't think it got the white background. Let's try that again. Let's select the oval. And I guess I'm going to have to use a paint bucket to fill that. Now we've got a white background in there. And I'll use my arrow to select all this. Now I can use it. Sorry, I can use this duplicate tool. Select all that. And move it over on top of this guy's eye. Didn't get the pupil. Well, I'll do that again with the pupils. So, drag this one over. You see I have this little tiny pupil that there's a problem. So that pupil is behind this eye. I'm going to get rid of this one, just hit delete, that's gone. And take this one, I'm holding down well, I think the only way to do it is to make a duplicate of that. If I make a duplicate of this, That duplicate should be the top layer now. And I'm going to have to make another duplicate for the other eye. And that one will be on the top layer. And now I can click on this and delete it. So now I've got this crazy-eyed sprite who's going to be my costume 3. Now I can go back to our scripts and change this costume to costume 3 and watch what happens. Okay. Maybe so he doesn't look too crazed, I'll have him switch back to costume 1 in the end. And let's look at some of these other areas. We'll put in a sound. We'll play a sound meow at the end as he's walking along. You can have him play a beat. Well, this is playing drum 1. We'll have him play 2 different drums. How about a little cowbell? Alright, one last piece, and then we'll save data, sensing, and operators, control, and more blocks for the advanced programming that you're going to do in the next set of videos. We're going to have him leave a little line behind. So at this point we're going to have him put the pen down, choose a pen color, so to set the pen color, it's a little different in the in 1.4 than 2.0, but what you see is happening here is as I drag it across different colors on the screen, it sets it to those. So, well, let's go with this blue color of the blue blocks. And in the end, well, let's have him put the pen up for part of his walk. Put the pen down for part of his walk. So now I'm moving this block, and you notice that the pen down went to the end when I slid the rest of it up. So I'll put the pen down for 10 steps, the pen up for the next 10 steps. And then when we start the program, we want it to clear all that out. So we put in a clear block at the beginning. Let's see what happens.